Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the last class we have discussed?
Packages.
I think 3.1 is not there in the previous class.
Yes, sir.
Have you received the files in the yesterday's class files, Srivani?
Just now I received from Bhargav.
Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't make up. I was out of station.
Okay. So I think we have discussed about the built-in packages in the yesterday's class, isn't it?
Yes.
Now we will go with user-defined packages. So package means, I already mentioned in the yesterday's class, it is a set of classes and interfaces with the proper namespace management and security. So whenever you are defining a set of classes, we can't have more than one class on the same name. It is not possible. But if you are trying to take the data from the two people and you're integrating it, there is a possibility of having the classes on the same name. So advisable is try to define every program in the form of package so that you can have a better namespace management. Means even though you're having an ambiguity under the class, without having any problem you can access it, as well as you'll have better security. So there's a reason try to work with the help of packages. So how do you define a package? For that purpose you're having a keyword called as a package. It is a keyword used to define a new package on specified name. It is a keyword used to define a new package on specified name. So what is the syntax of it? Means package of some name. So put the semicolon. Here it can be in the form of sub package also, like package name dot sub package. If required, if you want to have any sub packages, you can give in this particular format also, and finally put the semicolon. This is statement, that means package statement, should be defined as a first statement under the .java file. So before this package statement, if you run any other statements other than comments, that program will not be compiled. Your first statement into the source file should be the package. So then we will try to take the steps related to this. What are the steps to be followed? Now here yesterday itself I mentioned package means as per Java platform you are saying as a package, but as per the system environment nothing but a folder or a directory. So whenever you are creating a set of files belong to particular package, means you create a folder on the name of package Into that you place the files. So what are the steps to be followed? Define a package. That is the first step. Second step, create a directory or a folder on package name. Next, compile the package. Next, move the generated class files into package folder. Next, so by this time the package part is completed. So that means at the server side you can consider, but if you're working as a server side, as a client side location, so straight away you can write the client program and you can use the package. But if the client location at some other place, means you try to provide this package to the client side component or client side system. There those people has to set the class path and then they has to use it. So here I'll try to mention like set the class path to the root of package. But if you're working in the single system from the same directories, no need to do this job, but try to do practice this also, because usually the packages will take it from other sources. Then after that, define package implementation or client program. Package usage, compile the file and execute it. Compile the .java file, that is compile the program and execute it. So these are the steps what you have to follow. Okay. So now I'll try to take a small example like giving a wishes or a message depending on the name what we have received into the package. A small set of example. I'm creating a separate folder for this called as packs. Within that I'm trying to do this programming. So I'm specifying like notepad, first pack .java, some name. Now within this I'm specifying like package PCK, some name. That means I'm creating a package on the name of PCK, for example. Then I'm defining a public class, because whenever you want to use the package component to outside, it should be the public class. Class name is for example wishes. Within this I'm trying to define one method called as public string say hello, which is receiving some parameter called as name, and this received value I will try to return it back by adding some other extra message by specifying like return what is the name I received, that name I'm concatenating it and I'm trying to return that value. So like that I define a small class file as in the form of package format. But I think yesterday itself I told the packages when you're writing, its naming convention is lowercase and usually you will follow a naming convention like a reverse order of URL or domain. That means, for example, if it is in yahoo.com, something like this, then you have to say in com.yahoo. Like this you have to specify. In this format you have to write it. Okay? But right now I am trying to take as a simple name called as in PCK. So the first step is completed. Then second step what I give is create a directory on the name of package. So what is the package name I used? It is in PCK. So I'm creating on the name of package called as in PCK. So that second step is completed. Then third step is compile the package. That means javac firstpack.java. So here I think I made a small problem. Here class name I'll say as in firstpack. First step is open the notepad file and write the package program. Next, create a directory. Just now already I created a directory. Or just 1 minute, I'll say del RD. So first step is I'm trying to create a file called as in firstpack.java. I wrote some program there. Second step is I'm creating a directory. Second step is I'm creating a directory on the name of package called as in PCK. Third step is compile the package. So I'm saying is javac firstpack.java. Fourth step is move the generated class file into the package location. So I'll say a move. What is the first file name is generated firstpack.class. I'm moving that into PCK folder. Then set the class path. Set class path is equal to d:/new class /core /packs semicolon. I'm specifying as percentile class path. Next step is define the usage program. So I'm specifying like notepad. For example, I'm saying as in packimpl.java. Now I want to import the package, then I want to use the file. But without importing, first of all we'll write the program, after that we'll write the related content. So I'm specifying as in class packimpl. Within this I'm defining the main program called as in public static void main string of arg. Within this place the package class name what you're eyeing is firstpack. For that I'm creating an instance by saying as in firstpack, and through this I'm trying to call a particular method called as in p dot say hello, some particular value I'm specifying called as an abc, but this is returning some data, so I'll try to receive into one variable string s, then I'm trying to print that value. System.out.println received message is less of s. Execute the program, like compile it. Now here at this firstpack is present in the form of package format. So compulsorily you have to import it, but I have not written any import statement. Directly I'm using that class, so I'm trying to compile the program. It gives me an errors by saying that package or the class not found. It is saying that file does not contain class first pack. Please remove or make sure it appears in the current subdirectory of some message it's showing. Why it's showing this type of thing means because you have not imported the file. Okay, so that is the reason I'll say import package dot class name. Class name is first pack. Just I'm saving this program, execute it, compile the file, successfully compiled, then I'm executing it, pack implementation, and we got the message like received message good evening ABC. Followed all these steps.
Yes.
So once again I'm repeating all the steps. First step what I did is I opened a file called as in firstpack.java, and I wrote the package pck public class firstpack and one method. Then second step is I created a directory on the name of package. Third step is we are compiling the package, that means javac firstpack.java. Then next step is move this file into the package location, move firstpack.class to pck folder. The next step is set the class path. Set class path is equal to d:/new class, that means to the root of package, new class / core / packs folder, semicolon, percentile class path. Once the class path setting is ready, then define your main usage program, that is notepad, pack impl.java. So in pack impl I imported the package along with the class name. Then I'm created a memory block to the respective class, and I'm calling its related method, and what is the message it is returned by that method, I'm printing that particular message. So after that I'm saying is javac pack impl.java. Then once again I'm executing it, java spacing java pack impl. Okay, and I got the output. So these are the steps what you have to follow when you want to write your own packages. Understand? Understood this concept?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once again I'll repeat it. So what are the things I wrote on my system means in this way, like d:/new class / core. At this point I said as a notepad firstpack.java. Then in this next case I wrote as an md pck package folder I created. Then I'm set as a javac firstpack.java. Then I said as a move firstpack.class to pck folder, that is a package folder. Then set class path is equal to d:/new class / core / I think I used one more thing called as an packs folder. Within this semicolon dot semicolon percentile class path, and the next one what I did is I created a new notepad file called as in pack impl .java. Then I compiled it by saying as a javac pack impl .java. Then I executed it by specifying java pack impl. I'm trying to repeat the same steps once again because I want to make small changes. So it is my package folder, root folder is there where among two files are there, but I'll try to make all these steps once again repetitions. So that is notepad. First pack.java. So I wrote some program. So by saying package pck or something like this you're having. Then second step, I asked to create a directory, so I set as an md pck. I created one folder. Then I'm specifying javac first pack.java. Then I moved this file into the package location, first pack.class to pck folder. Then I wrote the second next one is I set it to the class path by saying set class path is equal to d:/new class / core / packs folder semicolon percentile class path. Then notepad pack impl.java. Then javac pack impl.java. So all these steps are executed successfully in the previous executions, isn't it? But now I got some problem. What is this? What does it mean? Why this problem came? It is saying package pck does not exist. Already you have created and you have moved the file into the package location also, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then why it is saying that package is not found? What could be the reason? I think totally 3 times I executed, I think, successfully, isn't it?
Yes.
But now in this case, now why it is gone into problem? I repeated done all the steps in the same way, isn't it? I created a first pack.java, then I created a directory, then I compiled a file, then I moved the compiled file into package folder, I set it to the class path, I wrote the implementation program, but when I'm compiling implementation program, I got an error. Yes, Srivani?
I'm not sure, but I think you missed one of the steps, like deleting the package, deleting the directory or something.
So here in the DOS prompt, if you observe, second statement is there, no mdpck, that is a package
Uh,
folder only, no? Isn't it?
Yeah, but you missed one. Did you?
Which is one?
No. I'm just check. Open the. Can you please open the notepad?
Which program?
No. Just
First pack?
notepad. You wrote some steps, right?
Okay. So up to here, I done it successfully. When I'm doing the seventh step, I got the problem. When I'm doing this particular step, I got the problem now.
Okay.
6 steps are completed successfully.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yep.
So what could be the problem?
I don't have any idea.
That's the reason I showed that number of executions. Maybe you thought why is showing that number of times, isn't it?
Okay.
Here a small problem is there. What is that means? Package names are case sensitive. And usual naming convention is lowercase and it is a case sensitive. Followed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you are
But as you are writing, you can write in any letters, not a problem. Uppercase or lowercase doesn't matter. But it is a case sensitive. Means in the program, what is the case you have used it while defining a package? The folder name also should be with the same case. Followed.
Okay.
Here the PCK is in lowercase, but when I have created the folder, if you observe, it is in capital letters, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That is the problem.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, sir. If you give the same case letter, then even if you compile it as many times, you don't get any error, right?
Yes.
Right.
So now I'll remove that package folder, that is a package folder content, and I'll create it once again. So now you observe once again all the steps I'm trying to do it. First pack.java, this is the program we're having, and package name is a PCK and it is in lowercase. So create a directory within the lowercase. Okay? Followed.
Yes.
So the folder what you are creating, it should follow the naming convention and it should follow the case sensitivity of the folder of the package name. Okay? After that, you compile the file. First pack.java. Then move the file into the PCK folder. But after this creation part is completed, in move command you can use in capital letters or lowercase, doesn't matter. After that, once it is completed, then you try to work with other files like package implementation, I think all the steps are completed.
Class
Set
path.
the class path, okay. But for us at present we will not have any problem because already you have set it previously. Okay, class path setting is completed. Next, pack implementation.java. Then I'm compiling the file. Successfully compiled, isn't it?
Okay.
So here the package name is a case sensitive. So in the same naming convention, in the same case, the folder should be created. Okay. So previously I created with a capital letter, that is the reason it's created a problem. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So which are the statements you're getting the problem means mainly here this second step is creating a problem. Because sometimes you may not know in which naming convention you wrote it or in which case you wrote it. So it becomes difficult. Means, for example, in the program you wrote in the form of in this way. For example, com dot for example Yahoo Shopping dot electronics dot TV. Like this is the package name you're writing, for example. So what is the com here? Main package. Yahoo Shopping is a sub package. Electronics is a sub package. TV is a sub package, isn't it?
Yeah.
That means now your folder should present in such a way. Like for example, d:/com/ Yahoo Shopping / electronics / TV. Under here you will be writing some files followed. So each package is nothing but a folder as per the system environment, isn't it?
Yes.
Like previously you are using package name as a PCK, so you have created a package folder PCK, isn't it?
Yes.
So now when you say com.yahoo-shopping.electronics.tv, that means indirectly that number of folders should be created in the hierarchical format, isn't it? Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is little bit difficult to create this number of folders in the designing process. But if you by mistake, if anywhere a small naming convention or name in a case problem, if you got, the package will not be executed properly. So that is the reason what I'll try to do means second step, third step, fourth steps, these steps I'll remove. Okay, these second, third, fourth steps I'm replacing by replace 2, 3, 4 steps by Java C -d. I'm giving the syntax here. This type of thing, Java C -d root location of package, or just say as a location, otherwise location and .java file name, .java file. This is the syntax you try to use it instead of the second, third, fourth steps. Okay. So what is -d means? It tells where you need to place your dot class files. Okay. Like instead of placing a generated class file in the current location, you want to place in some other area, then you specify its location. Understood?
Yes.
But whenever you are using this type of concept, if your .java file consists of a package statement, then this statement is also responsible to create the folders. Okay? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Like for example, so in the core folder, so many number of Java files are present, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
abs.exp.java, a specifier, calculation, CLCOP, so many things. Now for example, I'm trying to compile one file called as an absexp.java, for example. Okay? absexp.java I'm trying to compile. But what are the class files it is generating related to this? These files I want to put in some other location. Understood?
Okay.
Like for example, if you go to the C drive, under C drive I'm having a folder, for example ABCD. right now my ABCD folder is empty. There is no data. From the D drive, I'm compiling the file like javac -d. Right now here, if you observe, there is no .class files in my core directory. Okay?
Yep.
Even in C drive also, there are no .class files right now. I'm saying javac -d, file name called as an abs exp.java. But before that, I'm specifying that C:/abcd. I am asking to compile abc.exp.java, and while compilation, what is the .class file it is generating? That file I'm asking to place it C:/abcd. Understood?
Yes.
Execute it. So that step is completed. Just you check it up here. Is there any class files here? You try to observe. Still it is showing no classes, isn't it?
Yeah.
But already I have compiled it. What happened to the class files? It is placed into the C drive. If you observe in C drive, those class files are came here, isn't it?
Yeah.
So whenever you are using -d option, you have to specify the location also, so that what are the compiled files it is generating .class files, the class files will be placed into the specified location. But when you're doing this job, if your Java program consists of a package statement, then it is having a capability of creating folders also. Okay? Understood? So now I'll enter into D drive, packs folder. So for example, I'm removing this PCK folder, MD, that is RDPCK. So once again I'm repeating all the steps, but now second and third steps I'm replacing by with a new type of syntax. So first statement I'm trying to write, call as a notepad. For example, first pack.java, program is ready. Now second, third, fourth steps I'm not doing directly, I'm writing in this way, javac -d. What is the location right now?
PCK.
Here I don't want to place in C drive, I want to place in the current location only, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll use single dot. Means now what is the package folder will be created, that folder I'm creating in the current location itself. Understood?
Yes.
Then my file name is firstpack.java. After that you try to have the class path settings as usual. That is the fifth step I'm trying to do it now. After that, write the package implementation, then compile the package implementation, then execute the implementation. So what is the advantage here means, the package folder will be created automatically, so we will not have any issues related to case sensitivity, because it is creating by its own, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you create it by mistake, if the case of the package is changed, your program will not be executed. But if you use this type of syntax, the package folder is created automatically, so we will not get any issues related to case sensitivity. Understood?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So in the same way, we will try to have one more small package, one more program, we will try to write it up. So I'm specifying like notepad, like related to program, like for example, like small logic related programs are there, for example, like finding a reverse number, finding Armstrong number, such type of thing. So I'm for related to that, I'm trying to write a small program. So the my package is consisting of a set of classes or set of methods, just to check it up whether specified number is an Armstrong or a palindrome or a perfect number. Just to check it up, I'm having a set of methods are there, so I'm trying to use those methods, or I'm trying to define them. in this way. Notepad, check number dot Java. I'm specifying as a package call, for example, com dot vism dot check dot. This is my package name. So com is a main package, vism is a sub package, check is a sub package of it. Then I'm specifying like public class. My class name is check numbers, check number. Within this, I'm defining one method called as in public. I'm trying to return a boolean value by specifying check palin, and I'm receiving some number, for example as an n. Within this, for example, I'm trying to write a set of logic like while. I'm trying to take one temporary variable, first of all like int t is equal to n. Then I'm trying to take another variable called as an r, as well as one more variable, for example sum is equal to 0. Then here in the while loop I'm saying like while t is greater than 0, a small sort of logic. Then I'm specifying like r is equal to, or instead of r I'll say as a t is equal to t percentile 10. Then I'll say sum is equal to sum plus t. Then I'll specify t is equal to t by 10. That means I'm removing the last digit. I'll continue this process until it comes out of the while loop, or until the t is greater than 0. I'll try to do this job. After that, I'm trying to take one if condition. If t is equal to, or if n is equal to sum, in that case I'll say as in return true, else I'm returning false. A small program. Okay, followed? Now I'll try to compile this program. So when you compile the program, in which location your file name should present now? How many folders should present?
3.
3 folders.
3 folders, like com folder, under the vism folder, under the check folder. But right now in our system, if you observe core, only one in packs folder, only one folder is there called as an PCK, isn't it? There is no folder called as a com folder or vism folder, such type of thing. So I'm compiling this file. Java C -d single dot check number dot Java. It is compiled, and if you observe in the system location, already you got one folder called as a com. Under the com you're having folder called as a vism. Under the vism you're having a folder called as a check. Under the check you're having check number dot class, isn't it? So automatically all the subfolders are created when you use -d option. But actually -d is not for creating a directory, it is just to tell where the class file should be placed. So once this job is completed, then next I'll say as in set the class path. Set the class path. After that I'm trying to write as a notepad. I'm saying as numbers.java. So I'm trying to import the package first of all by saying import com dot vism dot check dot check number. Then I'm specifying as a class numbers. Under here I'm trying to use in public static void main string of arg. Here I want to ask the user like which is the number you want to check it up, and based on that I want to do the calculation. So I'll try to use command line arguments. From the command prompt itself I want to pass the data, based on that I want to perform the operation. So how do you receive the command line argument means, in the main program already you rank one variable to receive the command line arguments. So argument here arg is defined as an array, so it can receive arguments as in command line arguments. What are the values you came into this arg variable? From there I'll try to pick up a value and I will try to use it for business logic purpose. So I'm declaring one variable called as an int n is equal to arg of 0. But here n we have declared as an integer, arg is of string type data type. So we cannot assign the string type data type to the integer variable, it is not possible. So what I'll do means, I'll convert the character data into numeric. How means, I'll be using one non-primitive data type called as an integer. String is also a non-primitive data type. Same way integer is also a non-primitive data type. I'm using that particular one. But when you say non-primitive data type, nothing but they are classes. So whenever you say a class, they'll have some set of methods or services will be there. So I'm using one of the services of integer called as parseInt. So what I'm trying to means, what is the character data or string data is there, I'm converting into integer format and I'm giving to variable called as an n. After that, I'm trying to take one boolean variable. Before that, check number cn is equal to new of check number boolean. I'm saying some status is equal to cn dot, what is the method is there in that location, that particular method use it. So what is the method we are defined in that program? I think check palin of n. So I'm passing a value n value to the function called as a check palin, which is present in the cn. Cn is nothing but a check number. Check number is present in a particular package. Now based on the status what you have received, I'll give a message by saying if status, that means if it is equal to true, then I'll specify that system.out.println n is a palindrome number. Else n is not a palindrome. Simple message I gave here. Now I'll compile this program. Java C numbers.java. Successfully it is compiled. I'm executing that particular file, but I have to pass some command line arguments. So I'm saying as in 125. I got a message by saying 125 is not a palindrome. For example, instead of that I'm saying is 121. I got and for this also you're getting not palindrome. Why? I think maybe I'm not yet compiled it, checked it properly. Here n is equal to sum. What could be the problem? Is there any logic mistake is there in this? Some value is 8. Why? Some value is 4. 1 plus 2 plus 1. Oh. Here you are directly adding it, but actually what you have to do, you have to reverse it, no?
Yes.
So you have to multiply with 10 and then you have to add it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sum is equal to sum plus d. So here sum into 10 plus d. So compile the file. Now execute our program. So here it's showing as an n value is 125, sum value is 521. As both these values are not the same, it's showing as it is not a palindrome. When you execute with 121, it's showing it is a palindrome number. Okay. So now I can remove these two print statements. So compile it. Members.java. So 125 is not a palindrome, 121 is a palindrome number. Okay. So here you have defined this in the form of package and you are able to use it. So in a single package you can have any number of classes. Okay. Followed.
Yes.
Yes.
Next topic, exception handling. So like whenever you write any program in any technology, there is a possibility of getting the problems. Maybe a compile time problems, or maybe runtime problems, or maybe like some issues will be getting it up. So whenever any issue is raised, our program should be in position to handle that issue. So when it can handle it means when you define this exception handling process. So first of all, what do you mean by exception? Exception means it is an issue or a problem which is raised at runtime. It is an issue or a problem which is raised at runtime. That means at the time of execution process. It is a problem. So what is an handler? It is a solution to overcome the issue, or it is a solution for the raised issue. So what is an issue? It is raised to solve that, to overcome that particular issue. If you define some solution, that solution is called as a handler. So process of handling issues with the help of handlers is called as exception handling. So what is an exception handler means? It is nothing but handling the issues. Okay.
Yeah.
Now how can you do this particular exception handling? Your set of keywords are there. With the help of those keywords you can perform it. But first of all, you'll write a small program, like for example, I'll try to accept the two values from the user. Based on that, I'll try to perform some set of calculations and I want to display the results. So I'm trying to write one program here called as first exp.java. So for example, here I'm defining one program called as first exp. Now in the previous program I already accepted some command line argument. In the similar way here also I'll accept some data. So I'm defining like public static void main string of arg and I'll try to receive the two values from the user. So I'm saying int a is equal to integer dot parseInt of arg of 0th argument. I'm reading the 0th argument, I'm converting into integer value. In the similar way I'm trying to receive one more argument into the variable called as b. Then I'm trying to declare one variable called as int c. C is equal to, I'm doing the calculation like a by b and I'm trying to display the result. System.out.println result is plus of c, and I'll give a message by saying like system.out.println main is about to be closed. Some message. This is a small program is there. I'm trying to execute this program. Java C first exp.java. So I said as Java first exp and I'm passing some command line arguments called as 10 and 2. It's showing the result is 5, main is about to close and the program is returned back. For example, the second value, first value is 150, second value is for example 25. It's showing some set of output. It is doing the calculation and showing the outputs. What happens if you execute in this way? First value is 150, second value is 0. Like I'm talking about in C language. In C language, if you write the program in this particular format, what happens? In C language, for example, it is a main function. Just you have received the arguments without doing any type of thing. Just you have declared some variables like a and b. Something like this. Or here I wrote in this way in C language, like for example printf enter first number. Then I'm specifying scanf percentile d into the variable of into the address of a. In the similar way I'm accepting the two more values. We're specifying enter the second number. Then I'm trying to receive into variable called as b. based on that I'm doing the calculation like C is equal to A by B. Then I'm trying to display that message by saying as printf result is percentile D comma C. And I gave a message by saying that printf main is about to be closed. So like this, if you write in a C language, whenever you give the input values, so input values are for example 10 and 2. So the output is you got as in 5. But if you give the input as a, for example, 150 and 0, so what could be the output of this program when you execute it in C language?
In C language, not accept this kind of input.
In C language?
We can't use this kind of input. We should.
So when you give this type of data and if you execute, what will happen? Because when the time of execution, sometimes you may not know what type of data to be entered. So I entered the values in this way and I pressed an enter key. So what happens after that? Is it shows any output or is it shows any other thing? What will happen? Bhargav? I think you have worked on the C language already, isn't it? So every time you wrote the program successful way, because you will by mistake you will have this type of problems, you will get it now in the runtime. Sometimes you may not know what type of data to be entered. So if you enter a wrong data in this way, then what happens? In C language, if you write this type of thing and if you execute, it gives me an error by saying that 0 divide error.
Divide by 0. Yep.
Not only in C language, in any technology, as per the computers, you can't divide any number with 0. So it will create a problem called as 0 divide error, or the name may change from technology to technology, but it is a problem or it's an issue. Okay?
Yeah.
Means your program will be terminated at C is equal to A by B. At this particular statement itself, the program is terminated. Because of that, next two statements will not execute, so you will not get any output. Just it says that 0 divide error. Okay? Followed?
Yeah.
Now, if it is happened, okay, fine, the end user is getting a message saying 0 divide error. So what are the complications you will be there because of this type of execution?
We don't have try and catch loss like Java and C++.
That is in Java. I'm talking about C language. So if there is no exception handling here. So if it doesn't perform exception handling, what could be the issues? What could be the problem will be there if it doesn't handle the exceptions? Why you have to handle the exceptions?
Is an error, right? So we have
Yes.
in order to avoid that error, we have to handle it.
You want to make the user to execute his application in the successful way. If he gets any issue, try to solve that issue and make the user to run successfully, to make his program to be executed successfully. Okay, like for example, You go on to ATM center and you're trying to withdraw the amount. Okay. You placed your card, you specified the secret pin, and you selected option called withdraw. It is asked for the amount, you gave that amount also. Okay. For example, you're trying to withdraw some amount, like for example 200 rupees, for example. And in the ATM center, for example, there is no 100 rupee notes, for example. Okay. Your account balance is about, for example, 50,000 rupees is there. You are trying to withdraw only 200 rupees, but unfortunately the ATM center is not having 100 rupee notes. So that means here an issue is occurred. You are trying to withdraw 200, which is not possible now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then what it should do? It should not struck the machine, no. It should populate a message by saying that 100 rupee notes are not there. Do you want to withdraw 500 rupee note? Isn't it?
Mhm.
Give a choice to the end user. Ask the user to what is needed. Based on that, he can continue the execution process. But instead of that, it is just saying that application is typed without showing anything. If application is hanged, the end user will feel he may have a problem that why it is happening, whether amount is there in the account or not. Like that, he will be in confused state, isn't it? Which should not be. So every time you make the end user to work successfully, whenever an issue is there, try to ask for the alternative type of solutions, alternative type of working process, and make the user to be comfortable with that application. Okay? That is an usage of exception handling. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is one thing. So here in this program, if the output doesn't came, that means the program is terminated, so user is not getting an output. That's all. Remaining two statements are not executed, but it is not having any complication on the user, because he can go for next execution, not a problem, because it is a simple program. But if it is a hospital application or a banking application, its impact will be more. So compulsorily you have to provide some solutions, isn't it? If you keep it aside that one, is there any other problems? Here your declared variables called as an ABC, isn't it, in this program?
Yeah.
When the memory will be allocated for this program?
Compile.
At the time of
Compilation.
compilation. Say confidently.
Yeah.
At the time of compilation, the memory is allocated. Okay, fine. When the memory will be released?
After the execution.
After execution. But here I told that my program is terminated at C is equal to A by B. So program is not completed, it is terminated. So what happens to the memory you have allocated? Is it clears that memory?
No. It's just-
Obviously no. Because the program is not completed, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the memory is not released. If memory is not released, if you execute this program nearly for 5 times or 10 times, what happens? The memory will be wasted, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when the memory is wasted like that, obviously system performance will be getting down step by step, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that is one more issue what you're having. If the program is not completed, it is just terminated, means it will waste the system memory. So if such type of applications are executed for more than once, most of the memory is wasted because of system will not respond properly. Okay? Next. I think in starting classes I discussed about that. Normally your operating system or your processor will make the executions in the form of multitasking, one after the other, round robin methods, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now if you open a C program, that means at the processor level it is created a process ID and it is functioning. But due to some set of issues, the program is terminated. Terminated means the physical component will be removed, but logically it will present at the system level. At the processor still it thinks that the application is still in execution. Okay. So if it is happened, like totally 10 applications you opened, under the 10 application, because of the exceptions, nearly 5 applications are closed. But still the processor will think that there are 10 applications are running. So what happens? It tries to perform switch operation between the 10 applications, isn't it? Which is not necessary.
Yeah.
So that means the most of the CPU time is wasted for unnecessary process IDs which are not present physically, isn't it?
Yeah.
So system performance will be getting down step by step if this type of programs are written. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So whenever you write any program, whenever any issue is there, try to make the user to take a better solution or better activity related to that issue. Second one is make sure that the program will be closed in the successful way. Like in the previous example what I told ATM center, that part, it is showing a message, do you want to withdraw 500 rupee note, yes or no? If that person says yes, it goes for withdrawal option of 500 rupees. After that, that application will be closed. If you say no, application will be closed even such area in the successful way. So your exception handling should make your program to be closed in the successful manner. Otherwise system performance will be affected because the process IDs will be there, memories will be there in system as it is if it is terminated. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So exception handling is basically to provide a solution to the end user as well as to make sure that program will be closed in the successful format. We'll be using this exception handling. Okay.
Yeah.
Now when you come to C++, there is an exception handling. But what type of exception handling there means? It is an explicit. Means as a programmer you have to define the exception handling process. Try catch blocks you have to define and you have to handle it. Okay. But if you but is it possible to predict every type of issues in the program? Because when you can put the exception handling, normally if you know what is the problem is occurring, where the problem occurs, if you know, then only you can give a solution to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is it possible to predict every type of problem?
No.
It is not possible. So if you are familiar with that particular domain, maybe up to a certain level you can do it. But if it is in the domain what you doesn't know, in such case it may not be possible at all. So in those areas we need implicit exception handling. So where C++ is failing, C++ will allow you to have explicit exception handling. As a programmer you have to handle it, but if you miss any issues, then the program will be struck in between or interrupted in between. But whereas in Java is providing explicit and implicit. Explicit means as a Java developer you can handle it, but if you miss anything, your Java technology will take care of that exception implicitly. Okay. So what it will do implicitly means nothing but just it closes the program in the successful way. It shows a message to the end user, there is an issue, so and so problem is occurred, and it makes sure that the program will be closed successful way. That's all. Okay. Followed.
Yes, sir.
So if I execute this program now with this value called 150 and 0, an exception will rise in my Java called as an arithmetic exception, and JVM will be handling it. Means JVM will knows that there is an issue and it shows that message to the end user and make sure that the program will be closed in the successful manner. So that is a message what I got. Exception in thread main java.lang.arithmetic exception divide by 0. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But the program is closed in the successful manner. It is not going to the next statement, but it is making sure that the program is completed in successful manner. Means it will return a value to the processor that the program is completed. Okay. It returns a value to the processor by saying that the program is completed. So what happens because of that instruction? The processor will release the process ID as well as memories. Okay.
Yeah.
But right now, as per the end user, if you take it up, it's showing an arithmetic exception divided by 0. So the end user or may not understand what is happening. So you try to give a message in the proper manner, and if possible try to give the solution. Means you say to the user you can't divide with 0, you provide some other number, based on that you do the calculation. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you perform exception handling in Java? Means there are 5 keywords are there to perform this exception handling. Exception handling can be done with the help of 5 keywords like try, catch, throws, throw, finally. Are you doing the practice?
Yes, sir.
So these are the 5 keywords you rank. Depending on the requirement, try to use it. So what is a try? It is to define problematic statements in a block. Problematic statements as a block. So you can define a set of statements, and where the problem may rise, that particular statement can be kept in the form of a try block. Okay. So what is the responsibilities of the try block? It tracks the issues. It is responsible to track the issues. Whenever an issue is occurred, whenever an issue is occurred, then it tries to track what type of an issue is occurred. Then issue based component, what is an exception or what type of problem is raised, its a related component will be invoked. Means it creates a memory block, and that memory block will be thrown to the respective catch blocks. So try block is responsible to track the issues, and it tries to know what type of an issue is occurred. Then it creates a memory block related to that an issue. Then it throws that particular memory block to the respective catch blocks. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So try block is responsible to track the issue. That means it continues on and tries to track, is there any possibility of getting any issue or not. Once if it is knows that there is an issue is coming up, then it tries to identify what type of issue it is. Then it creates a memory block to that. Then that memory block will be thrown to the respective catch blocks. So along with the try, compulsorily we need to have a catch block or a finally block. Try block must consist of at least one catch block or finally block. Try block must consist of at one catch block or finally block. So what is a catch block? It is an handler provided to the raised exception to the raised issue of try block. Okay.
Yes.
So with the help of try and catch, you can work in this particular format. But before going into this, like if you take the exceptions, how many types of exceptions are there? There are basically two types of exceptions are there, called as a compile time exceptions, or you can say second category is runtime exceptions. So these are the two types of exceptions are there. Depending on the requirement, try to use them. Okay. So what are the compile time exception means? The exceptions which should be controlled before the execution process itself are called as an compile time exceptions. Exceptions which are to be controlled before execution process, before execution or before compilation or execution process. Are called as compile time exceptions. These exception will rise at the compile time. When you compile the program, at the time itself it shows that so and so exceptions are there. So until you control them, you cannot go with execution. These exceptions will rise at the compile time, or it will be informed at the compile time. Okay, so that's the reason you have to compulsorily has to be controlled before going to the execution process itself. So as it is showing that there are exceptions at the compile time, so these can also be called as these exceptions can also be called as checked exceptions, because until you check this particular exception, you cannot go with execution process. That is the reason you're calling as checked exceptions. So what are runtime exceptions? Exceptions which will rise at the runtime. Exceptions which are rising at the runtime are called as runtime exceptions. These exceptions can also be called as unchecked exceptions. Because it is not necessary to compulsorily handle it at the design time. Because even JVM, if it doesn't handle it, JVM will handle it. But if it says compile time exception, compulsorily you have to handle it. At least you have to inform it. But whereas runtime exceptions, no need to handle, No need to inform. JVM can handle it automatically. So these are the two types of exceptions are there depending on the requirement. Based on this type of exception what you're having or whatever issue you're getting, you have to handle them. Now here I told that exceptions and like that compile time and runtime, but if you take as a class hierarchy, if you take it up, first of all you rank one particular superclass called as an throwable. Under the throwable you're having a subclass called as an exception. So superclass of exception is throwable, and exception is a superclass for all types of exceptions. Various types of exceptions are there, like for example arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, like various types of exceptions are there. For all these things the superclass is exception only. So in this way you rank various number of subclasses are there. Understood?
Yes.
And we will talk about one more thing under this category called as an error. What is that error means? The problem which cannot be controlled is called as an error. Like for example memory related problems, those things you cannot control at the execution time, it is not possible, so these are called as an errors. But the problems which can be controlled by the development team or by the technical team are called as an exceptions. Understood this concept?
Yes.
So I'll give the examples in the next class. But before closing, for example, if I defined a class first, and here I defined some method called as, for example, public static void main string of arg, something like this, and I gave a message by saying system.out.println something message in this way. Now if you execute this program, you will be getting some output. But my question is, what is the superclass of first? What is the base class for the first? Okay, fine. So object is a superclass. So whenever you inherit your own class, means that class will be the superclass. But if it doesn't derive your class from anywhere, then the object will be as a superclass. Okay? How to view that this class is having superclass called as a first or not? How do you view that? How to show it practically? Like in the previous program, we wrote one file called first.exep. So for this, you are saying that superclass is an object. So how do you prove that it is having a superclass called as an object? Is it possible? So here if you say as a Java P, and what is the dot class file is there, you try to give that class file name. Dot class file name. If you give like this, it shows the skeleton of the class what you have created. Within that it clearly shows it is derived from object class, because these you are trying to get the skeleton part by taking from dot class file So in the dot class file, that is already added by the compiler so that you can view that information. It's showing like class first exp extend java.lang.object, isn't it? As well as it's showing me even default constructor also called as in first exp. So with the help of Java P, we are able to view this information.
Okay.
Okay, any queries up to here? Just I'm forwarding the files. Okay, so these are the programs we are discussed today. Try to save them. Okay. So we'll continue the next class.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Hello.